Hi folks, we are back with another item here. This is the BU Toys. It is the Elemenosqueeze A to Z architecture blocks. I believe we got these at the time at Target, but they are available on Amazon as well. This is an older set. We got this when our oldest was probably 3, maybe 4. And currently right now they are a lot more expensive than they used to be. They are $23 with $15 shipping. So if you can find these anywhere else, that might be a good idea. They do have other varieties of this. This is just the particular set that we happen to have. So let's go ahead and open it up. It is nice that it has this case with it, and if you are careful on how you put them in, obviously this time it wasn't, but if you are careful on how you put them in, they actually do fit pretty well, but it is a little bit more of a tight squeeze. So speaking of squeeze, if you squeeze these, they do squeak. So I'm not going to do that too much because we have sleeping kiddos right now. So the idea behind this one is it is an A to Z set. So you have the different letters on here. So there's S. Here is, I guess, that U or C. Well, it's probably C because there's a cow on the front. And this one is D, so dolphin. So each one of these has a letter on here. So this is Z, zebra. So it's kind of cool. They have all the different animals on here. They're nice and squishy, so if kiddos are throwing these around, they're not gonna hurt anything. Cute quail. And it's really nice that they're all different varieties, different sizes. These column ones are kind of cool to be building with because it's kind of nice to have, instead of just a straight block, you have this kind of like a texturized column item here. So that's kind of neat. And you get a couple of those. Yeah, there's one at the bottom. So you get a couple of those big ones. And then you get a variety, obviously, of the squares, the rectangles, these slope pieces, a lobster on here for L. And you got all sorts of different textures on a lot of these too. So again, I'm not gonna work too hard at that because I don't want them to start squeezing and making a lot of noise, but they are really nice as far as like the designing and the texturing. One of the things that was said about these is that you can use these pretty much anywhere, including in the bath. I am a very big stickler on what actually goes in the bath because these are a perfect example of what should not go in the bath because they have a hole in them for the squeaking, but that also means water can get in there, and to get the water back out of there is very difficult. We have kept these away from the bath, and partially the reason to that, I've said in other videos, is because we have had similar items to this that we have allowed into the bath and very much regretted it afterwards because they get water in there and then mold starts to grow inside the actual item itself. And there's actually, it's kind of interesting, I'll put a link to this particular set on Amazon, even though we didn't get it there, but there's actually a great picture that someone posted of cutting one of these in half. I think it was one of these square blocks, and you could see how much mold had been growing on the inside, and that's terrible. Like, to me, it just seems very, very bad. I don't know why any company would design something like this and then say, yeah, go ahead and throw it in the bathtub and don't worry about it, basically, because that just seems like a very poor idea. Some of the items that we had that we did allow in the bath that were similar to this were actually bath toys too, which is, again, crazy that you're designing something to go into the bath specifically that doesn't have proper drainage and it's just gonna allow stuff to grow in there. And that's really bad. Mold is no bueno. It's really bad for kids as well as anybody. And to have that in a kid's toy, like, I can't even imagine having our kiddos take this into the bath, use it in there, get water in there, get most of it out, but not all of it, mold start growing in there, and then start carrying it around the house and squeezing it, and you're spreading mold spores all over the house. So definitely not recommend. I would not recommend putting it into the bathtub. But if you have it just around the house and you're playing with them, they're great. I love the building aspect of it. Kiddos love the building aspect of it. They love building with these. They love designing things. You can do a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with regular blocks, but the great thing about these, again, is that they're so squishy, they're soft. If you build some tower up, really high and it falls over, it's not gonna hurt the kids. Not only do you have the building aspect though, but they are, you know, the ABC blocks, so you have letters that you can use as learning. The colors are great. They're not like super in your face like neon-y colors, but they are a great variety. They are very bright, very, you know, engaging. So this is a super great product, I think. A very cool idea. I'm not super big fan of the squeak, but I know kids are. You know, they like that noise feedback, especially if you have kids with sensory seeking needs, and they like to have, you know, different noises and sounds and stuff, as well as the textures on them. It's perfect. For me as a parent, it gets very annoying, very old, but I very much like these items, especially with our youngest son. He loves throwing things, so instead of throwing a wooden block, he can throw these and it won't cause any damage to either our walls or floor or the other kids. So it's really nice. If you haven't checked these out before, I would suggest it if you can find them for a reasonable price. Again, for this particular set, with it being $23 and then $15 shipping, to me that seems a little bit too much. I probably wouldn't get these again if I was paying that much, but if I could find another set of these that were a little bit less expensive, I might definitely, you know, consider that and add to this. Because it's a really cool collection. So yeah, let us know in the comments below what you guys think. If you've used these in the bath and you've had a good experience, let us know that too. I am very curious. If you haven't used them in the bath, or if you've had a bad experience with them in there, let us know that too, because it seems like a trend with a lot of these items that, again, you just can't get the water out. But yeah, let us know what you think. I think they're great as a, you know, away from water kind of toy. But let us know and stay tuned for our next videos. We're gonna have some more resources. We just did some of the lakeshore stuff and some of the learning resources items and sensory bins and magnet boards, you name it. We're gonna cover all that stuff and more. So stay tuned and we will get back to you.